Hey everybody, it's Jane Hamill. Welcome to this episode. So I'm taping this as a video and a podcast today because why not, right? So people come to me because they really want to learn how to market their products better and get a bigger audience and sell more stuff. So one huge component to getting sales is email marketing, right? Email is still the number one ROI of any marketing activity you're going to do. It's still number one. It's been number one for the last 10 years. It may be getting less effective, and I do think it is, but it's still number one, right? So it's a huge thing. So what the beep is MailChimp doing? MailChimp has broken up with Shopify, and they're no longer going to integrate directly with them, right? A lot of my clients and members in my programs are very, very frustrated because they use MailChimp and Shopify is been a common connection, right? So MailChimp says we're not going to integrate with Shopify anymore. You'll have to have a third-party app, so Zapier would be an example of something that you could get that's, I don't know if it's free, but it's almost free. It's not expensive. And that will connect MailChimp to Shopify. There's other ones as well. A lot of my clients have had a really hard time using that third-party app to collect them. Somebody used not Zapier, but another one, the one that Shopify is really pushing, and to connect, sync something, I forget. But and they ended up with 400 extra emails on their list that weren't theirs. All right. So this is kind of annoying and frustrating. So why is MailChimp doing this? A few reasons. So I'm going to explain why I think MailChimp is doing this, Nostradamus that I am, and what I feel you should do about it. Okay. So MailChimp a while back quietly, they're calling it acqui-hired. So acquired or whatever, Lemon Stand. Lemon Stand is an e-commerce platform that is smaller than Shopify, but a competition of Shopify's. A while back, also, MailChimp got together with Squarespace, and they launched new shoppable landing pages with Squarespace. Apparently at the time, with Square, I guess they're calling it with Square. So maybe it's not Squarespace, maybe it's Square, whatever, who cares? Basically, they started to have these shoppable landing pages with Square. At the time, Shopify didn't want to do that with them. Okay, Square did. They're now they're saying, MailChimp is saying that 50% of their revenue is coming from e-commerce, right? 50%. With its customers selling more than $22 billion worth of products in the first half of 2018. So MailChimp made $600 million in revenue in 2018. This is according to TechCrunch, by the way. So if that's the case, and 50% of its income is coming from e-commerce, that means $300 million is from e-commerce related services for MailChimp. Okay, so MailChimp wants a piece of this action. They're telling us, hey, we're not going to integrate with Shopify anymore because we don't agree with their privacy policies. But it really looks more like they want a piece of the action. Shopify's not playing. And they're like, forget it, we'll do it ourselves, right? So that's great for them and everything. And they even say, MailChimp says, we're not trying to become an e-commerce platform or compete directly with companies like Shopify. Oh, really? You could fool me. But then they go on to say companies will be able to start their businesses with MailChimp and have a seamless experience, meaning when you sign up with MailChimp, you can have e-commerce as well. And eventually use MailChimp along with one of our e-commerce partners. So I guess they're trying, I think, of course, they don't just come out and say anything. Lemon Stand didn't say they were being acquired by MailChimp. MailChimp didn't say we're breaking up with Shopify because we want to be with Lemon Stand. We want to do our own thing. But what I understand is they want a piece of this action. It sounds like MailChimp wants to go after people who use e-commerce, but not in a big way, right? So if you need all of the features and everything from Shopify, you probably would have to switch to that eventually. But we could get you started. If you start with MailChimp, we'll get you some e-commerce features with that. Is this good or bad? I think it's terrible. And here's why. First of all, MailChimp is a clunky nightmare to use. Any of you guys who have used it, you understand. Email marketing is so important. Being able to segment your lists and only send emails to people who want certain topics is so important. And email is terrible with that. Now, I know there are workarounds and there are people who are going to jump in and defend MailChimp, and that's fine. But I used it for one of my businesses. I've used Constant Contact. I've worked heavily in Klaviyo with my clients, and I personally use Kartra. I've used Entreport. I've used a million of them. MailChimp is the most annoying one of all time, honestly. And their customer service is not so great. So I've never been a big fan. One of my clients, she has about 9,000 people on her list. I talked to her yesterday and I said, so are you sending, the people who signed up for this particular opt-in, what do they get? And she's like, well, I don't keep them on a separate list because MailChimp charges me for each name. So if the same person's on 2 or 3 lists, I get charged per name, which is ridiculous and annoying. Again, MailChimp. Urgh. So she hasn't been segmenting her list and sending people what they're interested in because she doesn't want to pay extra. It's insane. Okay. So she's like, well, should I switch? What should I do? MailChimp is annoying me. And should I switch to Klaviyo? Now, Klaviyo, I am a huge fan of Klaviyo. Klaviyo is e-commerce first. They are an email service provider. I'm probably saying the wrong words, but whatever. The way I see it, they do the emails, right? And they integrate obviously with Shopify and whatever else, but they're e-commerce first. They are made for e-commerce. Shopify as a platform to build your website on, it is made for e-commerce. If you're going to do something in business, I really suggest you look first at whose main focus is what you're going to do, right? If your main focus is blogging, you're probably going to get a WordPress blog because WordPress is blogging first, right? There is a blog feature on Shopify, and that is fine. And 90% of my clients who use Shopify use the blog on Shopify, but they're not a blogging platform. So their blog is like, it's okay. It's usable. But as far as e-commerce and being optimized for conversions, there is nothing that beats Shopify. Nothing. Okay. I don't work for Shopify. I am an affiliate though. And when I looked into Klaviyo Extra yesterday for my client to see how much more she'd be paying if she switched from MailChimp to Klaviyo, it really wasn't as bad as I thought. So let me just give an example of one of my clients who uses Klaviyo. I asked a couple people, I asked another guy, I said, let me get your honest feedback because I love it, but your guys are in there using it every day. And so here's what they said. One of the clients said, by the way, you only get charged for how many people you send emails to, not how many are on your list, right? So if for instance, her main list is let's say it's 20,000, but it's segmented and she's sending in chunks of 10,000, 9,000, 800, whatever, that month she's going to get charged for the 10,000 that she sent, all right? Not the 25,000 that are on the list. It's only ones you're actively sending emails to. The ability to segment and to give emails only to people based on their clicking activity and their interest is unsurpassed when it comes to anything for e-commerce with Klaviyo, okay? My client says, every time I segment my lists, I make money. And I feel so much more confident sending more emails because when I send more, I know they are actually interested in that. Meaning, if you send out a thing saying, hey guys, there's a sale on this today, right? And, maybe you have a 15% open rate and a certain percentage of click rate. You are going to send the people who opened but didn't buy another email saying, did you, hey, this is still going on. It's ending tomorrow. Do you want it? Okay. And then you could send them a third one, the people who clicked because they're showing real interest, right? So the ability to segment your list is so important. Email is getting tougher. If you're going to use email as everyone on my list gets the same exact email every time, then fine, stick with MailChimp. It's fine. But if you're going to move with the times and understand that email is getting harder and harder and harder, if you are not going to send people emails that they actually care about based on their behavior, what they've purchased, what they've clicked on, what they've opted in for, you are going to get lost. Your emails are going to get lost and nobody is going to want to hear from you. Your email open rates are going to go way down. Okay. So I also went to Erica Newmeyer from rarejournal.com, one of my star marketing students and a mentor with our programs for marketing. I said, tell me though, when you segment, how much money do you make? Is it really paying off for you? Wow, you guys, we looked at her numbers when she says, somebody said, hey, I want to download, this quiz. She has a quiz. And then we give them the results, and then we give them this, and then we give them that. Based on what they do, she is making more money every time she sends a segmented email to a certain list. And her open rates are unbelievable. Mine, when I segment my list, I get 50%, 80% open rates. I looked at it the other day, it was an 86% open rate on an email. Now, it's a very, very small segment of my list. I would never get that to my entire list, but it's pretty incredible. So she says, knowing that not every email goes to everybody gives me confidence to send more emails because people are actually interested. And I know, she says, I know the more emails I send, the more money I make. This is just true. Why else would DSW send me so many emails a week? Because, it's spammy and awful, but more emails sent out, more offers made, more money made. Okay. The other thing that my client said is because I do pay what I consider kind of a lot for it, I use it. I really, really use it. Okay. So Shopify is e-commerce first. Klaviyo is e-commerce first. MailChimp, I just find it too challenging to work with, honestly. And they want to get into e-commerce, that's fine. But I'm really going to start suggesting to my clients, you got to be segmenting. You have to be segmenting your emails. Klaviyo is, I think, the best option for that. Constant Contact is good too. I like Constant Contact, but if you're serious about sending emails and you're really going to use it as a main part of your marketing strategy, I would really consider Klaviyo. I also looked at the pricing. They start with a free thing, you guys. By the way, it's Klaviyo. They start with free. So if you have less than 300 people on your list, if you're just getting started, or you want to dabble in it for a while before you decide, they do have a free one. And then it goes by list size. So my client, for instance, who has a 9,000 person list, I think it's going to be $150 a month. Now, looking at my clients who use it and use the segmenting features, the beast, robust beautifulness that Klaviyo is, if you're a coach or consultant, you can have these kinds of features with Infusionsoft or with Kartra. But for e-commerce, Klaviyo is the one to choose. And it's just, it's like the Cadillac versus like the Hyundai that MailChimp is. Okay. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. A lot of people are wondering, should I switch? Should I get the third-party app? If you are planning to send bulk emails, everybody gets the same email, then go ahead and stick with MailChimp. If you are planning to use email the way it should be used in 2019, 2020, 2021, which is segmentation, customization, then I would really consider switching at this time. Okay. I even looked into becoming an affiliate for Klaviyo, and I think I'm going to do that because I love them. So I'm going to leave a link, but it may be an affiliate link. I just want to be, transparent about that. There are two companies that I will go to bat for: Shopify and Klaviyo. There's probably more, but those two, when my clients use them, they make more money. Period. I want you to make more money. If you're making money, you're happy. If I have happy clients, I'm getting more clients. So boom. All right, guys, if you're serious about growing your online store, then I have a free class for you. You can check it out at janehamill.com/grow. And it gives you the truth about growing an online store, what it really takes. And what it really takes is, yes, great tools like Klaviyo and Shopify, but it also takes a certain mindset shift and an intense focus on profit margin, which so many of my clients just kind of forget about, right? So check that out, janehamill.com/grow. I think it'll help you. It's helped a lot of people. Enjoy. And if you like listening to this podcast, share it. Tell your peeps. Leave me a review on iTunes, whatever. Go back and leave me a comment on the blog as well. I would love that. I will be putting it up on a blog shortly at janehamill.com/WTF MailChimp. WTF MailChimp. That is the link. JaneHamill.com, WTF MailChimp. Have a great day, guys. And thank you for tuning in. I love your comments. So leave me a comment. It's way more fun when I have comments and I get to talk to you instead of me just talking to this like screen here. Okay? Bye.